The alternator is vital to your car because it charges your battery and keeps the electrical system operating smoothly. Alternators and batteries work together. The alternator spins, and the battery receives a steady power flow and stays charged. The alternator specifically maintains the electrical components of your vehicle. Your alternator is why your dashboard, radio, air conditioner, and other parts function correctly. The alternator is one of the many parts you'll find under the hood where your engine is. In fact, most manufacturers mount the alternator onto the engine. Alternators spin because of attached belts, producing electricity when in motion. The battery captures this energy and stores it. Unfortunately, car alternators are fallible like the other parts in your car. Therefore, it's essential to know what are these problems. Some confuse problems with their battery and alternator, wasting time and money. Knowing the signs of a bad car battery versus an alternator is essential for car maintenance. First, start with the battery. Here are some common indicators to prove your battery is the culprit. Radio. Turn the keys in the ignition to start your car. If the radio doesn't start, that's a sign your battery has a low charge and is about to die. Checking the radio and headlights are two of the fastest ways to diagnose a battery issue. Clicking. When cranking the motor, you may start to hear clicking noises. This sound should indicate battery problems because something is wrong with the device. You may have loose wires, a dysfunctional motor, or corrosion on your battery. Another easy way to tell if your battery has trouble is to check your dashboard. Your car should indicate battery issues with the symbol on the dashboard. If so, it's time to pop the hood and diagnose the problem or ask a professional to see it. If you pop the hood, you should first look for corrosion. You'll know this decay when you see it because it's surrounding your battery. Corrosion consists of lead sulfate crystals that are building around the terminals. Typically, it brings a light blue or white color. Be careful with corrosion because it can burn your skin and eyes once exposed. Other apparent signs of a bad car battery versus an alternator are the smells radiating from your car. If you smell sulfur, that's a sign of a dead battery. If your battery is dead, that's a huge problem. The source of your issue could come from the alternator. Alternators are responsible for powering your battery. So, if your battery keeps dying, the alternator may be the culprit. When you start the engine, you'll see a battery sign or charge icon coming on. This light normally disappears shortly after turning on the machine. If it doesn't, it signals a dysfunction in the alternator. Odd lighting. When your lights turn on, are they super dim or way too bright? The alternator could cause this problem by supplying inadequate power to your electrical systems. If the inside and outside lights flicker, dim, or are incredibly bright, the alternator can't provide stable and continuous power, leading to these lighting problems. Using your vehicle when you have these concerns is dangerous. Odd noises, weird noises are another factor to watch out for. Instead of clicking, listen for buzzing, whining, and grinding. These noises indicate alternator issues. You're most likely to smell burning rubber due to the high friction caused by a loose or slipping of the serpentine belt. If you smell an electrical burn, it could be related to the alternator itself. Electrical issues. The alternator converts mechanical energy to electrical to charge the battery and power up electrical accessories in the car. If the electric generator fails, you may notice the fan speed is slow, power windows are not working, the radio doesn't turn on, and the dashboard lights malfunction. All electrical problems are likely connected to the alternator. Make belt inspection part of your maintenance routine because it could lead to alternator issues. For example, your alternator belt can wear because it tightens and loosens over time. The last thing you need is a cracked belt. Overheating. If the engine is overheating, it can mean the alternator doesn't provide enough energy to circulate the engine coolant. How can you fix your alternator? You can jumpstart a car with a bad alternator, but you won't last long on the road. If you like getting your hands dirty, there are a few steps you can take to fix your alternator. The first step you'll need to take is research. Find your alternator online with a detailed diagram to understand the parts. Your manufacturer or reputable websites should have publicly available information on the alternator. With this diagram, you'll feel more confident in navigating your way around the device. Next, get your tools together to ensure the job goes smoothly and stay safe. Some tools you'll need for alternator repair include sockets and wrenches, ratchets, gloves, safety goggles, and tools for belt tensioning. This equipment is ideal if you want to replace your alternator at home. If not, you'll need a professional. First, you will need to disconnect the battery and remove the belt. From there, you need to unbolt the alternator from the engine and disconnect the wires. With the alternator removed from the vehicle, you can replace the different parts depending on the problem. Some common problems include wearing down the carbon brushes or worn down contact rings that might need replacing. If you are uncertain of the exact cause of your failed alternator, take it to a mechanic to complete the repair. How much is a new alternator for a car? The cost to change an alternator is anywhere between $500 to $2,500, depending on the vehicle and other factors like labor. J.D. Power says your alternator will cost between $100 and $350, depending on your vehicle's make and model. Additionally, you'll need to account for parts and labor. Some alternator jobs require a serpentine belt replacement. You should get an alternator compatible with the year, model, make and engine size of your car for it to work. Amperage ratings. Some alternators have only about 60 amps, 70 amps, while some high-output alternatives generate more than 200 amps. You need to pick a replacement that suits the required amperage of your vehicle's electrical system. Most alternators use 3-wire electrical connections, but some cars have 1 wire to simplify the wiring. Check how many wires your alternator has to get a suitable replacement. You'll also have to pay for the mechanic if you require the service. Save money on your alternator by buying a refurbished device. Refurbished alternators are often just as good as new ones, and doing it yourself can save hundreds of dollars. Ask a professional to test your refurbished alternator before you buy. Some options to lower alternator replacement cost. An alternator has an average lifespan of 6 to 10 years, or approximately 80,000 to 150,000 miles. Replacing it is costly, but you can drive down the cost with these tips. Number 1. Get an aftermarket alternator. They're more affordable than original ones, but pick something of high quality. You'll find heaps of options for cheap aftermarket products, but they don't last long. Do your research or ask friends for a good car part supplier. Number 2. Get a refurbished replacement. You can also save by opting to buy a rebuilt charging system. Find a trustworthy seller or check online sites. Some offer a warranty, so you can request a repair or substitute if the product malfunctions within the period. Number 3. Rebuild your own alternator. If you're knowledgeable about automotive parts, you can rebuild the battery charger. Disassemble the inside parts and components. Check for any damage or cracks and replace faulty components. It's way more affordable as you don't have to pay for labor when installing it back. If you have basic automotive knowledge, you can fix the alternator yourself. If you're confident with your skills, purchase an alternator replacement repair kit online or in automotive shops. You should hire a mechanic if you don't have the specialized tools needed to perform the replacement. Alternator replacement cost varies, depending on the car model, ampere ratings, and other essential factors. You may need to change this part once or twice throughout the lifetime of your wheels. A car alternator cost can hit your wallet hard, so research carefully. Use this guide for your alternator issues.
You ain't lying.
But wait a minute.
You didn't smash the bell and press the like button.
Blasphemy.
Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.